So it has officially been 3 years since I moved to this country. Now, in 2022, around July, I think 15th or the 22nd, I'm not so sure, I graduated from law school in Uganda at Uganda Christian University. For those who are watching and you studied at Uganda Christian University, hi. So yeah, and in August 6th, I left my home country. I left my home. I left my babies. I left a family that loved me so much. A mother who adores me, siblings who are my everything, for lack of a better word. And I moved to this country. Now, on the 7th is when I arrived because the journey is long. Yeah, you guys, Uganda is far compared to, I do not know what, but Uganda is a little bit far from the USA. And on the 7th, I officially made 3 years in the United States of America. Now, this is more like a story time or maybe a form of encouragement for you who has just come to this country. If you're seeing my first for the very first time, my name is Rachel Agasha, and on the channel we talk about everything the United States. I talk about the DV lottery because that is how I was able to move to this country. I share my experiences in this country, how life has been for me, the mistakes I have made, the mistakes that I made that you shouldn't be making. Sharing with you information that I wish I knew before I moved to this country so that it makes your life much easier. And I also want to believe, I encourage people to hang in there, yeah, because life in this country can be hard. Life in this country can be challenging. Life in this country can be everything you never imagined it would be. Seasons change, people change, things change, but we learn, we grow, we make mistakes, we go through things. But I hope and pray you choose to be a better version of yourself despite of whatever it is that you go through. So in today's video, I just want to share my, should I say, gratitude story. So on the 6th, I woke up feeling very grateful. I already shared something like this on my TikTok. My TikTok is Agasha Rachel, by the way. If you haven't been, you should check it out. So I was feeling so grateful because it is hard. Yeah, so I had just graduated from uni, and you know, you're excited for life, but I was both anxious and excited, and I was moving to a new country, and this is a country that I had only watched on TV. And I know, just like so many young adults like me at that point, because I was just 26 when I left Uganda, came to this country, and I had to figure out everything from scratch. Now, did I have a plan? No. Did I have a vision? No. Did I have dreams? No, I did not. And that is why I can gladly tell you it is okay. It is okay not to have things figured out, because one thing about this country is you have the ability to become just about anything and anyone that you want to become. And I always encourage people not to be closed up in one box, because the opportunities and the bigger paychecks are way out of your box, okay? So like I had said, I had graduated from law school when I moved here, and of course the first thing that anyone would think about, okay, how do I practice in this country? What do I do with my life? I promise you I didn't have a plan. Yeah, I just carried my little suitcase, came to this country, and I'm like, okay, where do we start? Lucky for me, 3 days after I'd landed, I got a job and started doing some work that people will look down on, but I can promise you that I did everything that had to be done to, you know, survive. And that is another thing that I keep telling people. When we get here, things are different. You could be a lawyer, you could be a doctor, you could be all those fancy prestigious things back home, you could have all those titles back home, and I feel like if you let those things get to you, you probably won't allow yourself to see what more is out there for you. So I got here and I knew I had to start from scratch. I had no work experience. The whole time my friends would say, oh, it's you know, we used to have a 4 months holiday. Guys would be like, oh, we're going for internship, we're going to do this and this and that. Law firms, basically people were looking for reasons to go away from home. I was very okay with being home because I had 4 little siblings, 3 at the time, who I loved so much, and I treasured spending more time with them than being out there hustling and running around Kampala and doing this and doing that. And I promise you, I do not regret it. My only experience was raising my babies, and believe it or not, it has worked for me. Because I know when I got my first job, I didn't need work experience. I did a certificate, a CNS certificate, and I started working. I worked that job and then got a farm job. The farm job was more of a technical know-how. So I started working there as well. Zero work experience. I had to learn everything on the job. Okay. One thing that I knew for sure was I was determined to make it. I will always remember the words of this one friend of mine. She called me, she's like, Rachel, everything that you do, make sure you win. So for me, even before she told me that, I knew that failure was not my portion. Of like, there's no way I wake up in the morning and be like, you know what, I have failed. Or you know what, Nemere Dua, I'm going back to Uganda. No, that was not in the cards for me. And I did everything that I knew how. I put aside my pride. I knew that I was in this country, first of all, by myself. No one was coming to rescue me. And I had, let me tell you, this country showed me the version of myself that I did not know was in me. Okay, I had always been a responsible human being, took on responsibility at a very little young age. I always knew what it is that I had to do. Thank God for my mother and my grandmother. I knew how to do the chores. I knew practically everything that any normal human being should know how to do. Yeah. And that helped me alongside humility and good morals, good virtues, being a good person, because all those matter. Once some of these things, some of these aspects are missing, it kind of makes life hard for you. So in everything that you do, just remember to be humble. It's a whole new community, a whole new environment. So things are going to come off a different way. But I hope you keep your cool. You keep being the nice person that you are. You keep hanging in there, because again, life is hard. It can be really challenging in this country. But all I'm trying to say is, one way or another, it's all going to end. Yeah. So 2022, I'm living with my host, and then I leave my host in 2023. I have to figure out things on my own. I have to find a place. I have to find another job, because my one job had gone away. And for some reason in this country, when you've just come to this country, or should I say for some of us immigrants, one job is not enough. Most so if you have to send money back home, you have people to take care of back home, one job is practically not enough. Also, the cost of living is really high, you know, so you might find that you need an extra source of income to be able to make it up. So the one job that I was doing at the farm was just not enough to sustain me, so I started to look for more work. And lucky for me, or should I say with God's grace, because you guys, it has been God from day one. Let me tell you, I left my home and just told God, you know what, I do not know anybody in the USA. I know you, and you know everyone, so please lead me. That Jesus Take the Wheel song was for real for me. Because on my own, I just could never. I couldn't have. I went through so much that if we exchanged, some of you would not manage. But I'm just so grateful to God that He saw me through it all. I got a house. I first lived in a basement. I was living in Virginia before I moved to Maryland. I found a nice, kind woman who was kind to me, gave me her basement. And I remember that time my rent was around $850. And it was okay for me. I had my own space. I did as I pleased. But meanwhile, I was struggling with lots of depression and lots of stress. And oh my God. For like half a year, I was very depressed. I was very stressed. I was not eating. I was not sleeping. I was going through so much. Yeah. And then I started to make friends, and my life started getting better and better and better up until now. So 2023, I remember I had applied for a particular job sometime in 2022, my current job actually. Let me tell you, when you center God, some things you don't even have to hustle. Let me tell you, during this interview, because they, of course, they reached out to me and like, oh, Rachel, are you available for interviews? I'm like, yeah, I am. But meanwhile, while I was doing this interview, there was also a scammer trying to scam me. They had also reached out to me, told me, oh, they had a job for me. And mind you, I am doing these 2 job interviews at the same time. The scammer is conducting the interview for me via the phone, because we're texting via Teams, I think, that app. And then the other job, the real job, my current job, the interviewer calls me, oh, hi Rachel, I'd like to go through the first interview, blah 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 blah. I answer, but meanwhile I'm rushing to get back to this scammer, because in their offer it felt like they were going to be paying me way more money than this guy. So I'm like, but I still went through all the interviews. And then when I tell you the first interview that I did, I got that job. Keeping in mind that I told you I do not have work experience. And when I applied for this job, I swear to you, I did not know that I would get it. I did about 5 interviews. And then they tell me, oh, you know what? You know, like at the end of every interview, they're like, oh, let's talk to other candidates and then we'll get back to you. Let me tell you, when I say it is God, has been God, because you know how people are so insistent with work experience and all those things. These guys felt like God had ordained me. They're like, you know what, you have to pick this human being. And mind you, it wasn't just me, because they were looking for 2 candidates. So that means there were very many other people who had applied for this particular post. Next thing I know, they're telling me, oh yeah, so you got the job, you will begin on the 15th of May. Whew. I'm like, okay. It was fast, it was quick, and it was beautiful. And I got my first job. These guys didn't even ask me for work experience, I promise you. They were just, I think, more interested in me. Like, who are you? Have you done this before? Have you done that before? But like for the kind of work that I was meant to do, they just asked me things in regard to my life. How organized are you? What do you think about organization? I'm like, okay. And I just had to, you know, say my mind. And meanwhile, at this point, I have not looked at like how to answer interview questions. I didn't know about ChatGPT. I didn't know anything. But again, by the grace of God, I got that job. So, moral of the story is, I look at everything that I've achieved right now. There was a time in my life where I was just asking God for a house. I was praying for a house, you guys. I was praying for a job. Like, this is bare minimum. I promise you, this is bare minimum. But this is what I was asking God for. Because I was in a very bad place and I needed for him to come through for me, and he did. Earlier this year, for us at my home, in my home, all my life, on the first of the year, every first of the year, by the time it clocks midnight, we are all down on our knees. We are on our knees and calling on God and dedicating the new year. And we're like, God, this year this, start at, this year that, this year that. And this year, last year, I was home. I happened to be home, and it was so beautiful. And I sat down and I was just reminiscing about all the good things that the Lord has done for me. And you guys, in my heart, I was so content. I can't say I am okay with where I am right now, but I was just so grateful the whole time. I'm like, God, thank you for this, thank you for that. Because I'm looking up, I was literally looking back at everything that he has done for me and how far he has brought me. And I felt like asking for a house is not in the cards anymore. I have a house, I have a job, I have a car, I have a life. I am doing other things with my life that I'm so proud of. And oh my God. So I had just one prayer this year, and tell me why. You see, the Bible is clear that everything that we ask for in his name while we pray is already given to us. And I have seen it manifest in my life. I have seen God do amazing things in my life. And I do not know what you believe in. I don't know if you believe in God, whatever it is that you believe in. I know that once you're invested, once you're intentional, once you are determined to be just about anything, you definitely can. I love to think about things in a way of, you know what, yes, I'm going to live in the moment, yeah, but I know that I have goals, I have dreams. What am I doing? What am I doing in the moment to get me to where it is that I want to be? Then I'll focus on that and make sure that, because personally, there's one particular goal that I'm working on that I know changes everything. You know how there's that particular link that moves practically everything? So that is what I am working on right now. And when I get there, you guys will know. Because you guys have walked this journey with me, and I'm so grateful for everyone who keeps coming back, for the people who watch the videos constantly, the people who encourage me, the people in my life who love me, who care for me, who pray for me. I do not take any of that for granted. And if you're out there and you just came to this country, I promise you, it may be hard, it may be horrible right now, it may be worse, of like, I got to a point where it was just a series of bad things happening to me, bad thing after another, bad thing after another. Let me tell you, I have never known God so much like in those moments. You know how I just kept telling God, you know what, it is well. And you don't, it's also important to keep a positive attitude, because again, everything that we say is what happens. Yeah, I do not know about you, but I believe so much in the power of a tongue. Everything that the one thing that I know that I kept telling myself all the time was, it is well, everything is going to be okay, it is going to be fine. And I was so rooted. Let me tell you, for me today, you can't convince me that there is something out there that is too big for God to finish, because I have seen it all. You guys, I have been through the worst, been through hell and back. You cannot convince me that there is something that can shake me right now to my core, to the core of my being, and I'm like, oh my God, no. One thing that I picked up from all my struggles was to become the better version of myself. Oftentimes things happen to us, and two things happen. When someone has gone through so much pain, they either become very bitter or the very, very better version of themselves. I hope and pray that whatever happens or whatever is going on in your life does not break you. Please allow yourself to bend as far as you can go, but do not break. Do not be bitter. Do not turn into the person that has hurt you. Choose to be the best version of yourself. Everything that I went through, I kept telling myself, you know what? I don't think I want anyone to ever feel like this. If anyone ever needs my help, if I must be anything in this world, I will be kind, because there's so many other things that we can be. But I choose to be kind because it's free, first of all, and it gives me that satisfaction of, oh, I did something nice for someone. For me, it is always the satisfaction. So if you're out there and you're looking for a friend, I shared a bit of this on TikTok, and I have gotten amazing people in my life, and I'm so grateful. So if you're out there and you need some bit of encouragement, you need someone to talk to, you need a friend, I will be here. Okay, so if you can reach out, I'll leave my email in the description box. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know, and I'll see you guys in our next video. Take care and stay safe. Bye.